Hey, this is Michael from Remove Back Pain, and in this video, I'm going to go over how to exactly get rid of your lower back pain in 4 minutes. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I want to tell you that I come out with videos like these on how to remove your lower back pain, how to help with your back pain in general, what to do in different settings, such as if you're in the workplace, what should you do there? That's what I help people with, as also with other areas like exercising, mindfulness, and natural remedies. So if this is the first time, make sure you go ahead and subscribe so you do not miss any of my work. I come out with videos just like these. And then I also have a blog that you can get access to. I'll leave more information down below in the description with free guides you can get access to. Very in-depth stuff that I've put together myself for you so you can live the best healthy life you can. So yeah, I've been in your position before. I know what it is like to have acute pain, subacute pain. I've had chronic pain and sciatic pain. And it's a struggle. It has been a struggle for a long time. But I don't deal with it so much anymore because I've been able to figure out the methods and the techniques to be able to get rid of it, right? It's all really coming down to a simple formula, and it's all about consuming the right knowledge and then also taking action on it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump here into this share screen with you, and I'm going to pull up an article that I have together so we can both look through it. And I think this is the best way for me to transfer what I know to you. And then I'll also go over a couple of exercises and things like that that you can use. Quickly, how you get rid of your lower back pain in 4 minutes, it's really subjective, and it's based on a perspective and on what you're dealing with. So does that mean in 4 minutes, can you use a certain exercise routine? Can you do things with a supplement? Can you use a massage chair and it'll get rid of it in 4 minutes? So it's kind of subjective. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those, and I'm going to give you examples. Let's not waste any more time. Let me go ahead and show you. So this is my article. This is how to get rid of a lower back pain, keyword A, because how to get rid of lower back pain. Are we talking about conservative treatments? Are we talking about natural remedies? Are we talking about something with painkillers? I mean, assuming that you want to know how to do this through exercise, or assuming that you want to do this in a more holistic way, that's even better. And I have a ton of content on this, so you can always check out my site, and I'll also link to it down below in the description so you can look at it on your own time. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. This is kind of an introduction, kind of talking to you about back pain and why it happens so much, and really not blaming yourself for the reason that you have it. I know that like over 80% of people worldwide, and in the US also alone, deal with having a lower back pain at least once in their lives, right? It's almost like 1 out of every 3 people will have it. So I kind of break it down: acute, subacute, chronic, sciatica, and the different conditions and what to do in those specific scenarios. And there are so many things you're going to hear all over the web, all over the internet. But one thing is for sure, that it's always great to hear from somebody who has had the experiences that you're going through. As myself, I've gone through these struggles. I've had to deal with them for so much, painful medications, harmful drugs, the opioids and NSAIDs, and then having to understand what it takes to go away from always spending on high medical costs and high medical, the bills that are always piling up. So there are different ways. Kind of go over here. You don't want to make matters worse. Prevention strategies. So if you're looking at it from a stress level, yeah, you can get rid of it from a stressful level. Just relax. Doing mindfulness. How? I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But you can do it through things like meditation. Focusing on mindfulness is usually focusing on that one thing and staying on that one thing. And what I do, most mornings, I have a routine that I do. Even though my back feels a lot better, I always want to keep it in that same place. So I want to do a little bit of meditation, and then I go into yoga a little bit. Okay, and my yoga routine varies from day to day. There's DIY, so do it yourself. Assuming you're doing things at home, how do you do that? If you're per se this lone wolf going at it, what would you do? You want to prevent things by drinking alcohol. Excessive alcohol, and even alcohol a little bit in general, can go ahead and can disrupt the blood circulation from the rich nutrients getting to your discs and being able to lubricate it with the water and the synovial fluids. I mean, I don't want to lose you with the technicality here, so I'm going to keep it, the techno babble stuff limited. But You don't want to do that, and it's going to cause more pain, just like drugs do. They cause circulation to decrease, so you want to be able to get away from that. And blood clots come about. Circulation, the biggest, right? You need that blood flow to naturally flow into your spine, facet joints, all around. And if you're already having problems with your discs, or maybe it's acute pain, you still need to avoid these things. Movements, foods, and this is the gold mine. This is what you should be doing. And I break them down into 4 pillars. These are the 4 pillars that I help my people that I work with, and that always ask me questions about, what do I do? So in 4 minutes, can you do this 4 minutes with an exercise or more? Yes, you can. Can you do this by healing foods, anti-inflammatory foods, turmeric, right? Whole wheat, grapes, red cherries, light shade vegetables. And I go into that in different articles, but yes, you can in 4 minutes if you do it correctly. And if you're doing it day to day, you have a better chance of making it farther. And that's what I share with you in one of my free guides you can get access to below. Is a huge, it's like a huge ebook basically on what you should be doing from day to night on your specific condition, breaking it down by exercises, healing foods, mindfulness, natural remedies, and so much more. So yes, in 4 minutes, how can you get rid of lower back pain? NSAIDs, okay, we know we can take a painkiller, right, gets rid of it, 4 minutes pass, even less than 4 minutes, it's taking an effect. But is it the most natural one? You know the answer to that. So that's one way you can do it, and it's more so a short-term solution to a long-term problem. So even if you're just feeling a little bit of pain, right, even though it's just a minute one, maybe you got it from working, from sitting in an office space, maybe you got it from your construction job or a physically demanding job, or just around the house, or an activity, a sports activity, right? I used to play Division I soccer, so I know, and then I used to lift up heavy boxes, and I know what doing physical work takes. I've worked in an office setting, and now I do a lot of stuff from my own office, and I'm actually moving at the moment, but that's because my back feels a lot better. So you can use cold and heat therapy as well. Get rid of it in 4 minutes. Of course, you can ice for a little bit, and then you can do heat. But usually when you go from cold to heat in a setting, it's because you have more chronic to sciatic pains. If you have more acute flare-ups like you might have, then it's okay to use a cold pad right now for the next 72 or so hours, and then go into heating. And I break that down more into other articles. These are just, if you can see here, if you go in this article, it'll give you a link you can click on and go search more about my experiences and what I'm telling you can do in these other articles, because they're going to be very helpful. So turmeric with curcumin, can you get rid of it in 4 minutes? Of course you can. Now that applies also from acute, subacute to chronic sciatic pain. Now you can do that with all those methods in 4 minutes and even less. So turmeric is very powerful, and it's an anti-inflammatory Italian herb. It's Indian herb. I know I said Italian. From the turmeric plant, turmeric root, and it's served in so many different ways. But the best way to get it in is to supplement. And then you have muscle relaxants. As we know, some of these, it can be very harmful. I don't recommend it. You're probably already using them long-term, but I recommend that you don't. If you need to use them short-term, use them for a couple of times, and then find a more natural muscle relaxant. And I have articles on that. Right here, I actually list a more natural one that you can go and get access to. I've listed them all. But that's more of a short-term, and it will subside your lower back pain in less than 4 minutes, depending also on the severity of the pain. Number 5, just keep moving. You don't hear this enough. You hear a lot of people telling you, go take a quick drug, or go do this exercise, and I'll get to that in just a second. But you want to be able to keep moving. Don't just sit down in one space for too long. If people tell you, take the next 72 hours, sit on the couch, sit on the bed, lay down on the bed, relax. You can. There's certain times when you should relax, and there's, for a couple of hours is okay. That's still pushing it. But what you want to do, even if you're sitting in the bed, one thing, if I were laying on my bed right now, I would show you this in that scenario. That's why I said it's subjective perspective. The perspective is different upon where you are and what setting, right? Somebody will tell you just to do this one exercise, but what happens if you're laying in bed and you can't get up? Now that's a whole completely different story. So if you're laying down in bed, and I have other videos for this, what you want to do is do a little knee to chest exercise. And I might leave a video underneath, but I teach this stuff in a group. I have a group too that I use, but what you can do is do a little knee to chest exercise. So what you're doing is basically you're pulling up your right or your left to begin with, and it's coming up to your chest. And what you're doing at the same time is you're breathing in as you bring your knee in, hold it for about 15 or so seconds. You can do 15 to 25, build up after time, after each set. Let it go, nice and easily. Straighten it out all the way while you're breathing out at the same time, and then you're gonna bring it back up again. You're gonna breathe in, hold it in. 15 seconds out. And then you would switch again, but there's a certain amount of time you do it. So you can go ahead and get access to this and I'll show you how to do that. And it's a great stretch because it's gonna align your hips. I know many people ask me, I can get rid of it in 4 minutes with this exercise, but how about the hips? How about this? That's gonna target your hips, that's gonna target your pelvis, right? You're gonna have, if you're already having problems right here, you can't see it too well, but I might get out of the share screen at the end of this so I can show you a couple of things. But you don't want to, if you already have problems anteriorly and posterior tilts, right, going forward and then going backwards, that's something that is part of a muscle imbalance. And a lot of that, what's going to suffer it's your hamstrings and your hips and more of that pelvic, right? And it's not good on your spine because if you're leaning forward, you're going to have that more scoliosis feel. And I'm not going to get into more of the other technical terms, but your spine's going to start bending more forward instead of having that natural C curve that it should. So you want to continue doing things that are not going to put pressure on your hips. And one thing I'm doing right now when I'm sitting, you don't see this, but I'm sitting on a C cushion. And this specific and special C cushion is something that I use. And that alone I want to get to. When I sit down, and I'm probably having pain before, but when I come to sit down in a posterior way, when my posture is up and balanced, the pain goes away in less than 4 minutes. So again, that's subjective, right? You come and sit down. Right, you're breathing in, you're breathing out. So now that I'm on this, I'll cover exercise in just a bit, but one thing you could do, I'm gonna bring in the camera just a little bit here, is you can do a quadratus lumborum stretch. Quadratus lumborum. Now, Michael, what is that? So what that is basically in simple sense is if you're sitting on a chair, let's say you're sitting on an ergonomic office chair, you're at your job, or maybe you're in a car. You can do this while you're driving a construction truck or you're doing anything else that, you're probably in a car in a seated position somewhere. Dining tables, for example, is where I'm at right now, actually filming this video. So I'm sitting in the second living room. What you can do is you can slowly, okay, it doesn't matter if you have acute pain, doesn't matter if you have more severe pain. Even with more severe pain, you need to do this slowly. So you want to usually just get away from your desktop, back up just a little bit. I like to take a breath because I know I'm going to do this. So I do that and then I go ahead, start turning my head a little bit to my right or to my left, can go either way. My head is already turned all the way to my right, about 45 degrees, right, just basically facing the right. And while I'm facing the right, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to grab with my right arm, I'm going to tilt over like this, and it's over the chair. So now I'm reaching down here. See how my body hasn't turned all the way around? What I'm doing is I'm slowly turning my body towards my face. And this is enough right here now to position my left hand down here on the handle. Once it's on the handle, now what you want to do lightly is apply a little bit of force on your left hand, or if it's your right hand, if you're going the other way, just slowly turn. Slowly turn. You could lean in a little bit. And you hold that stretch. You want to hold it ideally for about 25 seconds. Again, you can build up from 15 to 25 if you feel more pain. But what that's going to do is it's going to alleviate the pressure on your spine, right? And then on your rib cage as well. And it's also going to help your hips a little bit, right? It's going to keep them in alignment. And what it's doing is it's just giving you more you want more flexibility. That's the purpose, flexibility and strength. In this example, flexibility, and that's going to alleviate your lower back pain in a sitting position. Now, there are so many other ones you can do. For example, I could be sitting down in a seat And you can do the seated hamstring stretch. This is a very nice one to do from acute pain to chronic pains. I have here, I put my left hand down as my left foot is out, but I want to keep my chin forward, face forward, and I want to reach down as far down as I can. And while I'm doing that, I'm keeping my back in place. I'm keeping it back in motion. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of the share screen to show you that really quickly. So what I'm still doing is I have my left foot forward, left leg forward, and I'm keeping my eyes forward. I'm keeping my face forward, my chin. And I'm just reaching down. See how I'm not looking in different directions? I'm looking in one place. And I'm putting my hand down as far as I can. Now, some of us are not as flexible. I'm a little bit more flexible now because I keep up with my health in an exercise way so I can stay away from pains and aches. So you can do that and then switch your legs. And then there's more of this that I have that you can get access to so you can see for how long and what you should be doing. But then you can switch legs and then do that one. That'll alleviate your pain faster and in less than 4 minutes, right? And then you can do the quadratus lumborum, right? This one where we stretch here. Do it on the other side. And then you can go into a seated hamstring stretch. And that's very nice because now you have the flexibility to go ahead and go forward a bit. And you're still in a seated position. So that those two alone can alleviate your pain in less than 4 minutes. Now, let me go back and do a share screen here. And let's get going. So another one you can do, I mean, you can always seek professional help and alleviate it in 4 minutes, but that's just another one that I want to give you. I want to give you as many options as you can in different situations. The massage, you can get that done. It gets your muscle knots out of the way, myofascial release massages, all these other knots that you have in little spots, opens that up, and it gives you a whole bunch of more flexibility, and it gives you pressure relief. So heat is another one that I've talked about earlier, right? When you're using a cold and heat source, heating is really good for chronic and sciatic pains. I use that more often, and that's something you want to get more used to. Natural heat sources you can use with heating pads are nice. I know the jaded ones are good. It just depends on the kind of pain you have, right? I can't just, if I'd be here for hours on end. So make sure you look at the information below so you can get free access to the guide and these articles. So chiropractic care, of course, you can get rid of that in 4 minutes or less. Physical therapy is a good one to do, right? You're one-on-one with somebody who's helping you understand the different exercises you need. And I've been through them myself, so I know what it feels like. So there's going to be guided exercises in there. And then in this article, I kind of just go over at home what you can be doing if you have acute pain, chronic pain, considering if you had a large fall, sports injury, car injuries, hereditary muscle imbalances. And that's what I want to get to. You have to understand that even with all these exercises that you can get rid of them, you still want to understand muscle imbalances. Muscle imbalances are very key to everything. It blew my mind that I did not know about this before, but the reason why you're in so much pain and you constantly get these muscle strains, muscle aches, muscle sprains, and you keep going down this path of more chronic issues is because the muscle imbalances are not there. One side of your body has to work harder than the others. Your hamstring on the left side might have to work harder than the one on the right side. Your hips have to work harder on one side than the other. And all these muscles and joints that interconnect suffer. And so one side has to work harder. And now sometimes that's why you feel like one side of your body is leaning in other ways because you have a muscle imbalance. And what you need to do is get that all realigned. And for more chronic pain, you have to go through it in a certain structure and certain like little programs to go through it. So I'll leave more information down below so you know that. I'll leave a guide to that and what I would use to do it and what's worked for me. But then there's other ways, for even acute pain, you need to worry about getting away from that. So constant like exercising, sometimes lifting weights is very helpful so you can realign those muscles and get them in proper balance. And stretching and doing yoga, things like that on a consistent basis are very helpful. And so just a quick part on this, you need to know what's causing your pain. How do you get rid of it in 4 minutes? Yeah, you can do it in so many different ways. I can stand up right now and show you that I can tilt my body left and right, and that's another one. If I'm standing up, tilt to the left, tilt to the right, go up around, and then that relieves the pain and the pressure. But we also want to know how do we do it with our hips. So we want to know hips. I have guided exercises on how to do this with hips. I'll have all that stuff for hips, hamstrings, muscle imbalances, your lower back pain, different exercises to use. Make sure you go through these. These are very helpful. I go very in depth, stuff you haven't seen before. That's a promise. Exercising, I go through this. Stretching, this is the part where you probably want to know about. Yoga, Cobra. If I wasn't sitting down right here, I would show you exactly how to do this. This is very helpful. This is going to give you so much pressure relief. You have no idea. If you haven't done yoga yet, the Cobra is basically where, and it's going to be, I'll say this one right now, if you're having pain with herniated discs, this is like the best one. And I see it a lot of time where people are sitting down on the ground, laying down on the ground, or they can be laying down on another flat surface or on a bed. In the physical therapy room, right, on top of the tables. Those work too. Those work really well. If you want one, they work very well, but you don't need one. You can build yourself up into one. But it's good because you're going to be stretching forward, as you can see in this one. I'm going to show you how to do it right here. You find a flat surface to lay down on your belly. A mat works good as well. Extend your legs behind you and place your arms straight below your shoulders. So straight below. And then you're going to put your hands face down. Pinch in your buttocks just a bit. All right, you want to get those glute muscles just a little bit tight. Now slightly push up with your hands, inhaling as you do. And arching your back at least 45 degrees, hold it at least 5 seconds. Now slowly go back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, exhaling out as you do. Repeat it 2 more times. So just for the sake of not moving everything around, I know I can do this on the ground and I have other videos for this, but you want to go ahead and do that. If I'm laying down and when I'm done with it, I want to go down slowly, right? Vertebrae by vertebrae. Your vertebrae are connecting your discs together. This connected to more nerves. Nerves connected into the facet joints. And then all these different things connected down to your hips, to your knee, from your knee down up to your mind neurotransmitters. Tai Chi, that's another one. Get rid of it in 4 minutes. How do you do it? Do some Tai Chi, okay? Healing foods, I talked about that earlier. In 4 minutes, let's say you're having pain, but you cannot do an exercise. How do I get rid of my lower back pain in 4 minutes? You can take a supplement. You can start eating the right foods, but that alone, if you're having pain and you're going to turn to food to get rid of it, it's going to take a little bit of time because it doesn't have the micronutrients enough to get into your body. So you need to supplement it, okay? Mindfulness, meditation. Like I said earlier in this video, spend time focusing on yourself. Relieve the tension. Yogas, Pilates. Posture, work on your posture. Work on posture techniques. Here, I'm going to go ahead and stand up and show you something. So if I'm just right here, I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Back up the chair. So you can't see it all, okay? But I'm right here. If I'm standing here, what I want to do, let's say I'm sitting down. I'm going to get up or do something. One little thing you can do is go ahead and interconnect your fingers here. Reach for the sky. And as you're doing that, you can start putting your tippy toes up a little bit. Don't force it too much if you feel a little bit of pain. If you have more severe pain, take it slowly, right? Bring it back down. Make sure you're breathing as you're doing this. And you can do little ones where you're going left here, right here. And you can even switch it up. You can go left here, put your arm across, hold it there. Don't go all the way down. The thing is, you don't want to put too much pressure on your ribs here where you're like not being able to breathe. And now what's happening is that's coming back to your thoracic and then your lower back. You don't want that problem. And then your neck will start hurting. And then you want to switch a little bit. Feel that release. You might hear a little bit of cracks, but that's okay. So another one you can do, hamstring standing up, hips pointing forward, arms to my side, chest out. Keep the back straight, head forward, chin forward. And that's a good one. That's going to relieve pressure, and that's going to help you breathe a lot more easily, give you more flexibility. There are more severe pains, and I could spend a whole longer section on this, but I know that could be for another time. But there are things for like sciatica, for herniated discs, little things to do like the knees to the chest, the cobra, the bridge stretches, the other hip stretches. One where you can there's another one where you can put your hands against the wall, put your foot against the wall, lean down. Another hamstring one, it's a good one for sciatica. And there's so many other ones you can go for, but these will instantly help relieve the pain in 4 minutes or less, okay? So let me go back in here and finish this article for you, and I'll let you go. Cognitive behavior, kind of the same thing as mindfulness. Make sure you do that. Natural remedies. I love natural remedies. If you have 4 minutes, CBD oil, essential oils, turmeric with curcumin, and other supplements too, like for arnica, peppermint, glucosamine, chondroitin, and a whole bunch of them, right? So there's so many different ways you can go with it. And then I name them right here: kratom, CBDs, herbs, essential oils. Massages, I went through acupuncture, chiropractic care. What do you do if you have sciatica? Knee to opposite shoulder. Take one knee, take it to the opposite shoulder, hold it there, come back. Take the other one and do it. That's going to help relieve. What options work best for you? Again, it begins where you have to understand where you are, what setting you're in, and then what conditions do you have. In the end, you are your maker, right? You're the one who's going to live with the consequences of not taking action, just consuming things, and how to do it. And then there's a resource down here you can get access to, so make sure you read all the way down to the bottom so you can get that guide if you want it for free. But that's it. If you have any questions on this, if you need any of my help, make sure you leave me a comment down below. I want to hear from you. What did you think about this? What more do you want to know? What are you dealing with on a day-to-day basis that you need help with in maybe certain scenarios? I want to help you. Please allow me to, and I'll let you into a world that's, I believe, is going to change your mind and going to change your world at the same time. So with all that said, I'll let you go. Thank you for being here today. These are the ways, 11 plus ways you can get rid of a lower back pain, but not just get rid of a lower back pain, but doing it in 4 minutes or less. Okay? So thank you. Talk to you later.